Lila adjusted the last of the boxes in the dimly lit living room of their new house, satisfied with the view from the window. Outside, the trees cast long shadows, their silhouettes shifting slightly in the evening breeze. She stepped back and took a deep breath, a faint, musty odor lingering in the air, as if the walls themselves housed the memories of past residents. "Do you think we'll ever be fully comfortable here?" she asked, glancing at her husband, Mark. "I'm sure we will," he replied, his voice echoing softly through the unsettled room. The sun dipped below the horizon, and darkness enveloped the house. They turned off the last light, but the familiar chill of night didn't settle in as expected. Instead, a low, persistent glow seemed to linger in every corner, as though the walls absorbed the light rather than engage in totality of shadow. Over the next few days, the couple tried to ignore it. Mark often found himself waking in the night, glancing at the slight shimmer emitting from the hallway, a ghostly light that danced just beyond the edge of his vision. It seemed impossible, but no matter how many times he peeked into the darkness, it remained stubbornly illuminated, an unsettling reminder of something they couldn't quite grasp. One afternoon, Lila was unpacking dishes in the kitchen when she heard a sound, a gentle whisper barely above the hum of the refrigerator. It seemed to slit through the air, curling around her, lingering just out of reach. She hurriedly turned back to her task, but the odor of damp earth and something sweetly rancid filled her nostrils, reminding her of the last days of autumn. She fought back the unease that clawed at her stomach, attributing it to fatigue. But the shadows played their tricks. Cabinets creaked when not in use, and objects were never quite where she remembered leaving them. One evening, she stepped into the bathroom, only to find the mirror fogged heavily, swirling whispers vaguely reflected in its depths. Her breath hitched. She swore she felt a chill wrap around her as she caught a quick movement from the corner of her eye. That night, as she lay next to Mark, she tossed and turned, the dull glow spilling through the crack beneath the bedroom door, casting patterns on the wall. "Mark, do you see that?" she whispered, nudging him awake. He groaned but opened his eyes, peering into the dim light. "It's just a shadow," he mumbled, and yet she could see the way his eyes darted, drawn to the glowing halo that pulsed like a heartbeat. It continued for weeks. The couple became ensnared in the oddity, their conversations revolving around the strange lights, the muffled whispers, and the creeping sense of being watched. They plunged deeper, drawn in yet fearful of what lay beyond the veil of their glamorous, although uniquely disconcerting home. Then came the night that turned their lives upside down. A storm howled outside, and the wind rattled the windows. Lila worked to find the hallway alight, the door that led to the stairs left ajar, despite being locked before bed. She pulled the quilt tighter around her shoulders, her breath fogging in the chill that snuck through every crevice. Mark stirred beside her, unaware. Lila slipped out of bed, her feet quiet against the floor, crossing to the door. The light seemed to beckon her closer, flickering like fingers teasing at the edge of sanity. She stepped into the hallway, drawn by an impulse beyond her comprehension. The walls pulsated around her, shadows moving in time with her shaky heartbeat. As she reached for the banister, a sudden static crackled to life from the television in the living room, images flickering violently across the screen. Lila spun around, her heart thundering as she caught sight of it. A grotesque form, a half-seen outline of the previous owner frozen in time, its mouth making silent pleas. She stumbled backward, the whispers coiling thick around her, a desperate cacophony demanding to be understood. Lila's world began to spin. In that singular moment she grasped the truth. The house was a vessel for the lost, a step between worlds that refused to let go of its secrets. With a surge of strength, she turned back to the bedroom and grabbed Mark's arm. "We need to leave," she gasped. He blinked awake, confusion flooding his features. But as he sat up fully, Lila caught the glimmer in his eyes, the reflection, just for a fleeting second, of the same desperate creature she had seen moments before. The couple fled, bursting through the front door into the night. They left the light-soaked house behind, its whispering secrets swirling on the wind. And as they ran, Lila glanced back one last time, the house standing resolute yet somber, its glow flickering and fading like a dying ember, finally swallowed by the darkness. They never returned, finding solace in the shadows of a world that perhaps in its twisted nature was kinder than the truth that awaited them within those haunted walls.